Hi folks, I guess it's August 1st already. I can't believe how much time has flown by this summer already. And before you know it, we're going to be into hunting season right around my birthday. And we still haven't even done a big fishing trip. Things have just gone crazy. We have so many projects and all kinds of things happening. Yes, so I have several different garden areas and a lot of it has been reconstructed back here. And then I have my little greenhouse area here and then my spot on the deck with all of my planters. All my permaculture fruit tree type stuff happening here along the side of the deck. My little herb planter behind me right there. I have my area outside here between the tiny and our second truck, as well as in the front yard too. So I figure what we'll do is we'll head to the backyard and I'll show you everything that I did to reconstruct back there in hopes that it would be providing for a better growing space. And I think it was for the best. And I'm very happy. I'm happy with all my hard work that I've done this year. And I think that everything's growing considerably well compared to last year, because last year I had a lot of pests and my soil wasn't right, and this year it's a lot better. So we're gonna go head to the backyard. And I must add that everything is heirloom that I plant. A lot of the stuff that I've obtained from other YouTube channels, also in seed swaps, and I also do a plant swap here locally with Kelly. I did a short with Kelly a number of months ago, and it's truly incredible what you can grow from seed, honestly. So I started most of my seeds March 10th, and it is now August 1st. So you can imagine having to baby these things from little tiny seedlings to full-blown plants. It's a lot of work, and I had a couple people say it's really a labor of love, and I honestly believe that is true. It truly is. And we're also going to see what we can harvest too while we're out here, because I've been holding off on harvesting a lot of the stuff, and I'm like, there's beans and stuff that need to be picked and zucchinis and all kinds of good stuff. And then next up it'll be like tomatoes and all that other fun stuff. And my tomato varieties this year are super fun. Every year I focus on different cool varieties of tomatoes and peppers, and some stuff I fail at, so I'll let you in on those little secrets, I suppose, as well, because yeah, some stuff I do fail at, and you'll be surprised because a lot of people do not fail at the stuff that I fail at. So let's go check it out, and I will show you what I have in each garden bed as we go along. Okay, so this is the view of the backyard along the west side of the fence that joins with my neighbors, and we got the cattle panel there and the cattle panel trellis right here, and then it goes all the way back. That's where our wood splitter is, our sauna, our shed. And yeah, so it's looking pretty full, and we are August 1st today. And here we have a gooseberry. Okay, it's day 2. I didn't get all the filming done yesterday because the file is big, and 20 minutes of filming took 2 hours just to upload in my section of my other channel just for storage for YouTube. So I'm going to start with what I have growing in all of the grow bags and the pots actually on my deck. So here we go. It's a hot day, so I got a couple cherry bomb pepper plants here with some clary sage, and there's always leaves because I got big trees around here. So they're coming along beautifully, all from seed. This here is the tomatillo. I have 2 tomatillo plants. It's my first time growing tomatillos, and I actually happened to find these at our local Canadian Tire garden center, and I figured it would be fun to grow the tomatillos. Now, my understanding is you need 2 of them, so I do have 2 of them, but this is just sprawling beautifully. And look at all the tomatillos I'm going to have, and I'll be making some beautiful salsa. I have raspberries, the ever-bearing raspberries that grow up through my deck. Okay, so now if you look over here, this is my old hugelkultur mound, and I used to grow massive squash in there, and it has been overtaken by raspberries, milkweed, and horseradish, and whatever those beautiful yellow flowers are right there. The pollinators everywhere. And in this one, I have beautiful dill starting to flower and go to seed. And I have P&J Scotch bonnet peppers in this grow bag, growing beautiful, nice and tall. This here is a cherry tomato variety. This is the blue indigo, so I pruned everything below. It can still use a little bit more pruning, but they are growing. A fun, beautiful variety. Back in here, I have some of the Johnny Jump Ups or pansies, you can call them. These are all seed pods, so all I'm going to do is take these off and then I let them dry out and I put those into a bag for next year, along with some beautiful basil from seed. More basil that I can obviously water, dry it out. It's a very hot day. So when you're growing in grow bags and containers, you ideally want to be watering them every day, especially if they are black containers. More Johnny Jump Ups. And this is pineapple weed that just grows everywhere. It's similar to chamomile. And I have some nettle that just grows here randomly, which is fine. I'll leave it. It is considered a little bit of a medicine. And down here I have a yellow zucchini, golden zucchini. It's such a good producer. This thing drinks a lot of water, and I've already gotten quite a few fruit off of here as well. Now these pepper plants are getting just massive, like phenomenal in these grow bags. So these are the red bell peppers. Look at, they're already growing amazingly. So I wouldn't say they're 2.5 feet tall, because they're coming up to me on my hip. So that's pretty big for a bell pepper. And in this one over here, I have some grass. I have a shishito pepper, and there's a random dill here and a random, I guess it'll be a surprise tomato variety. So that's coming along. It kind of looks funny. This I did pick up also at the local Canadian Tire, and it was on sale, I believe, for $1. So I don't mind picking up different varieties, especially when they're on the reduced and clearance right at the end of when most people go to plant their gardens. Here I have spilanthes, seeds that I believe that I got from MB. I will link her channel also. Anybody that I mention for channels, I'll link it into the video description. And it's a toothache plant actually, and it is really a fun one to grow. So I can't wait to see all of the little eyeballs pop up with their seed pods. And here we have another smaller cherry tomato variety. This is the Violet Jasper, a new one for me this year. So I can't wait for the colors to actually appear. Over here in this planter, I have Anaheim chilies, and they're doing spectacular this year. I believe Jay know more numbers. I believe Julie sent me these seeds a couple years ago, and I only had a couple seeds left because they didn't do well last year. But they're looking beautiful. I'll be able to harvest some of these today, these big ones, and let the other ones grow in more. Down here, this is the Big Bomb. This is the Big Bomb pepper, so these are bombing out big time. This is awesome. And this is just a little tiny pot because I was running out of room and running out of grow bags. And this was another plant that I picked up for dirt cheap, $1, I believe. New varieties, which means more heirloom seeds. And Iris at Moonsprout. Ruby Red Bud is her pen name for her new book. She says that she has a good recipe for eggplant, so I'm making an attempt. Okay, I'm not a big fan of eggplant, but I picked these up for free. Free stuff. Free eggplant. And I need to get some more straw because I finished off all of my raised planters. I finished off all my planters and my raised beds. Once I have everything ready in the pots and raised beds, I always top them up with the straw because it retains the moisture in there as well. Over here in this little planter, I got to get this into the ground somewhere. This is some more clary sage. And I was able to get a Carolina Reaper hot pepper plant for free. And it's doing excellent here. Down here, I have propagated some yellow raspberry plants, and these will be going out to our 5 acres. Eventually, I just got to make sure they stay in the shade and are kept watered. And then I have some plantain plants that have to go out there as well. And you need to attract your pollinators with some beautiful flowers. So in this one, I have beautiful snapdragons. These are all seed pods, so I have to be harvesting those. Baby's breath that I do all from seed. It's so beautiful. And they're all going to seed as well. So I gotta harvest some seeds. And then zinnias, absolutely one of my favorite flowers. John Faulkner, he sent me the seeds originally. And then this year I did order some more from Etsy, I want to say, and I bought a package of different ones called the candy cane zinnia. I picked those up at Canadian Tire from the seed aisle. You can never walk by the seed aisle without buying a pack of seeds, honestly. So beautiful. Those are the annuals. Here is another one, absolutely beautiful, Cosmo. Look at how pretty that is. And then this here is the Eteuda pepper plant. So it is starting to form the fruit right here. And that I did the plant swap with Kelly, and the Eteuda was one of the pepper plants that we swapped for. And over here, a super sweet cherry tomato variety. This plant was free, along with some sort of rue. It's supposed to be a herb, and some parsley seeds that I had thrown in there. And so this is like gonna be a late fruiter, which is perfect. And a little bit, I need a package of straw to get that topped up. Over here, Cosmos. I absolutely love Cosmos. Love them. And so do the bees. Hello, bee. And it just fills in a planter just gorgeously. So I start all of those from seed very, very early in March. This is called the osteospermum. It's a plant that I picked up very, very early on, and it fills in the planters just beautifully. A little bit of baby's breath in there, along with some snapdragons, the mini varieties. So now we are approaching the entrance to the backyard here. So we have some more beautiful zinnias, some malva, which I absolutely love as well, all in here. And this is the back deck storage area for the tiller and the snowblower. This is the red elderberry plant that is just massive, that does produce seed, but the birds eat them all. And over here I have another cherry tomato variety that it's pretty big. It's a pretty big one. And this one is the Red Sun, and I put some parsley seeds in here as well. Now I have these popping up everywhere. It almost looks like a brassica variety. I tried to taste it, and it's very bitter, so I just pull those out as weeds and feed them to the chickens. This is my herb planter, and in here I have, this is a gooseberry plant that actually took, so when I'm ready, I'll be able to dig the roots out and get that put into a pot on its own. I got the Tulsi holy basil. It appears that I have some plantain in here as well, which is absolutely fine. Some clary sage. Back in here I have chocolate mint, and I've dehydrated a bunch of this already, and some cilantro / coriander, because it's essentially the same thing. Gone to seed. So time to do some dehydration as well for this. That way I can add that to salsas and other dishes. Beautiful. Oh, and I left one white icicle radish in there to go to seed. I don't know how things get broken off like this, but it happens. So go to seed. And over on my table, I have some mustard that Heather at Milk and Honey Heritage Farm gave me. needs a little bit of a cleanup here, but you can see it's flowering there. And some soapwort also. And it looks like I have a tobacco plant that just happened to appear, so I got to clean up a spot and get that into the ground as well. Coming down, before we head down there into the backyard and into the greenhouse area, I will show you what else I have on the steps here. Hungarian hot wax pepper. These ones are ready to be harvested as well, and I had just thrown in some onions. I think these were just like the sets, so whatever. They're not looking too healthy. All the onions are going to be harvested today. Here is a blue indigo cherry tomato as well. So it's a smaller pot, still doing okay. It doesn't get the full sun like how it does on the deck. And I got my clematis here. Now this clematis, it has not even bloomed yet. And then you got to train them up, your trellises too. But on this side, the clematis is doing beautifully, and it's a perennial that will return and come back. So I love it. It's my first time having clematises. Over here, I have some of Gord's big African marigolds. I'll be saving seeds. I'll be saving seeds from these. Just beautiful. And another blue indigo cherry tomato to match on this side. And then over here, I have some perennials, hostas, pineapple weed, lilies, autumn joy, it's called, or sedum. Heal all is all gone to rest. And our apple tree has 3 apples on it. Horseradish back there. It's a little bit of a mess. I got a peony in here, which I may consider just getting rid of. It just takes up space, and it only blooms for like a couple days. And then over here, hippie chick off grid in Maine. So this is, I left one on here. These are my Saskatoon berries. This one's dried up. Oh, there's another one. So I found a site down the road that actually there's about 20 plants out there. So I'm going to be taking the Saskatoons to the property. So Saskatoon berry. And in here I have all ground cherry plants, and these planters along the side all started from seed. And my friend Kelly actually saved my butt this year because I was late getting my seeds in. So you can see they're all flowering. Gonna have a good amount of fruit, I think, and it's a super fun one to dehydrate and to freeze dry. Shh, I didn't tell you that. Okay, so ground cherries. Over here, I got my garden gnome. So I bought this little guy because Thomas likes the garden gnomes. They call it something else in his language. Thomas in Austria, who sent me that really cool hat. I just put some alyssum in here. I got some for free. And these are the Thai dragon hot pepper plants that I started from seed. They're not producing anything yet. And then I have the Brad's Atomic grape tomato over here. And these ones are a really cool one. Super cool, funky, heirloom cherry tomato variety. I like it. Another ground cherry plant. And this is just in a hanging basket. And then I picked up like some sort of a white flower, so just an annual. And then I have all plantain down here in this container. Over here I have a haskap berry plant, which produced considerably well this year. And it's looking pretty good. There's that elderberry I was talking about. And just ginormous, ginormous. This is my yellow raspberry bush. So I've harvested a considerable amount already so far this year. And it produces very large berries. Now these are very small compared to what I've been harvesting. I will put up a photo. Oh, right here. Check this out. Oh, beautiful. One of the best things when you can eat right from the garden. So good. And I have some seeds drying out that I will be putting up to Etsy. Now in this planter that I have outside of the greenhouse, I have a tobacco plant. and I have some German chamomile. And tobacco is one of the 4 sacred plants for the indigenous people. So I just dehydrate it, save the seeds of course, and use it for barter and stuff like that, trade, and part of a smudge. So before we go into the greenhouse, I got some peas that need to be harvested here. Now these were just, they randomly grew here in this bed, so I just left them and then I just trellised them on this red trellis. So do a little bit of a harvest here today. Amazing. Amazing what you can grow from seed. And I have some carrots in here. These are the Imperator longs. And then this is an orange blaze pepper that I picked up for $1, I think. And see, another random tobacco plant. So I don't know, I might get a few carrots. And this is a deep pot. So hopefully I get a few carrots. I fail at carrots. I got my beautiful thyme here in this one. I have leeks. This is one of the first beds that I planted, and the reason why it's all fenced off is because those girls, they're very unhappy on occasion, and they get out of the chicken run, and they'll come and dig up all my stuff. So this is another type of carrot. This is the scarlet nanties, and then it looks like I'm going to have a zinnia that's going to be blooming soon, and more thyme. On the other side of the greenhouse, I have chamomile, a tomberry tomato plant. This one needs some more proper staking because it's getting big, but so far it has not. It's got flowers, but no fruit. All right, time to go in the greenhouse. So good. This is my little greenhouse. It's just a tiny little thing. I think it cost me $100 on Amazon. So I don't recommend doing tomatoes in a little tiny greenhouse like this. This is the Brad's Atomic. It is growing a lot of tomatoes, but you can see it is very limited on space for growing upwards and outwards, and you really gotta make sure it's staked well. So I got 3 tomato plants in here, and the chickens got out the other day and dug legit all my kale and my beets out. So I started some new stuff. So I think that I should have enough time because the varieties take like 45-50 days to produce something. So I'm hoping that I will have some more kale and some more beets. It's just what happens. They have like one little spot in the run where they can jump up onto the shed and fly out. So my friend gave me some of this fencing here, so that's been helping. Also in here I have celery that I grew from seed. So note to self that I need to start celery in January. Okay, so I also have MB's chocolate bell pepper plants in here as well. This is what I mean. They just destroy my stuff. Those ones are looking all right back there, but I'll be able to put those somewhere else in the garden. So chocolate bell peppers, a tobacco plant that just happened to be growing there. I just let it grow. And then I have scarlet runner beans in here as well. And you just got to come in and trellis them up so that they can grow all the way around. And in here I have cucamelons. Cucamelons are a fun little fruit to grow. They kind of taste like a cucumber and watermelon combined. Now I know I did see some fruit the other day. Oh yes, right here. Little tiny thing. So those should do really well. Some celery, and then I stuck a ground cherry in there. Another cucamelon and another ground cherry. Now that I'm making room by taking out my onions, I will have room for some of these plants to go into the main raised bed gardens, which we will get to very shortly. Continue on down here, leading into the backyard, and I'll show you what I got in these raised beds. I got some blue indigo cherry tomatoes again. And this is what I'm talking about. When the chickens do the damage, they come in and just dig everything up. They dug up my basil, they dug up my beets. And I have some malva in here as well. I have a smaller hascap berry plant here tucked in, and you need more than one variety of hascaps to cross-pollinate to get the fruit. Some borage, which is absolutely gorgeous. And down here I have pepper plants. These are the orange bell peppers, Nan's orange bell peppers. This is going to be a blanket flower, which is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful flower. Nan's orange in this whole bed, along with some Montreal melons, which is a rare melon. And so this plant is doing quite well, looks healthy, there's no powdery mildew or anything at all. My neighbor gave us some free eaves trough downspouts the other day, so I have to do something with that. And this is the Big Bertha pepper that I actually picked up for $1. 2 of them, and just starting to produce the fruit there. And some borage. Borage is a massive plant. It's a tall one. It takes up a lot of space. It's beautiful, but it does take up a lot of room. I have another hascap tucked in here. And in this container, I have a King of the North bell pepper, which is going to be a big green pepper. So it's starting to flower, looking pretty good. And over here, I've matched it up with some other green peppers that are just starting to flower and produce tiny, tiny fruit. Celery, and this celery I did not grow from seed. I got kind of panicking, thinking, oh, my celery, I didn't start it soon enough. So I picked up some plants at the local greenhouse. So that's doing really well. There's the blanket flower. Isn't it gorgeous? So I will have some seeds up on Etsy also once I dry them out. And just big, beautiful, massive plants. These are like 3 feet tall. These raised beds I absolutely love. So these ones are, I want to say 4 feet by 1 foot deep and 3 feet across. So doing the square foot gardening kind of idea in these. And here is a beautiful tobacco plant. The leaves are just massive. It's a fun one to grow. I do have seeds on Etsy for the tobacco. And over here I have red bell peppers. Red bell peppers, they're all flowering beautifully. The plants are not doing too badly, and I'm just using some really old metal pots. And they got fertilized the other day with some chicken manure emulsion. And this tomato plant here, so yes, these are all red bell peppers. Oh, there we go. There's a beauty. There's a beauty. Hello, beautiful pepper. This tomato plant is the Pomodoro, and it is flowering. And more pepper plants back there. Kind of limited on light for this bed because this is my even bigger elderberry plant. I planted this thing, I want to say 3 years ago, and it does produce, but the birds get the berries. And I even noticed that the berries start to shrivel up. So right there, shriveled right up. And I believe I'm going to be removing this whole plant. I'm going to take it out because it's just taking up way too much space. And if I can plant some more of the yellow raspberry plants along this side, then the elderberry can honestly just go. I can relocate it to the property, or that's probably what I'm going to do. Relocate it to the property. Okay, so now we are going through the trellis. I picked this trellis up on Facebook Marketplace, I want to say for $90. And I did barter them down from $100, so I did considerably well right there. And I have my kiwis In here, I got the potatoes growing way out here, way out here. That has to be moved. Kiwis and scarlet runner beans. The bees just love it, so do the hummingbirds. I have the Danny corn from Deep South. They got a YouTube channel. Potatoes here. Red pasta. Outlaw potatoes. And this is a fun one. Look at these peppers. What a funky shape. So I got this plant. It is the Sugar Rush Peach. I think that I got this for $1. I put some carrots in this one as well. So we'll see how that does. And then Lucy, my friend Lucy.
Made it to Lucy's.
Hi, everybody.
This is awesome. My crooked little homestead and Northern Girl Hobbies meet.
Once in a while, but she's been really busy. Hi, guys. Come here. Hello. Hey, this is a big fat one. Yeah.
That's Big Daddy.
That's the Big Daddy.
Big Daddy.
Who I'm doing the fundraiser for, gifted me this beautiful tomato plant, and this is called the Blueberry Cream, we think. So we'll wait and see. Back there I have Lucy's comfrey plant, and then I have some volunteer ground cherry plants from last year's seeds. And I'm so happy that they popped up because I love ground cherries. They're a super fun thing to grow. So, and another tobacco plant. There's a whole bunch of them actually. This is cool. So little things in your garden that you just happen to notice when you're out and about. And yeah, and this is my grape trellis. Happy here. I switched their location and the plants are doing marvelous. So yes, the Danny corn, and then on this side there's more Danny corn, and in here I also have more borage, celery, basil, which is doing beautiful. It needs a little bit of a haircut and get onto the dehydrator, and I have Tutti Frutti tomatoes in here. This is another super fun cherry tomato variety, just beautiful, coming along amazing. There, I picked up some more straw the other day. I wish it was in a bag because once I open this bundle, I'm gonna have to deal with the whole thing pretty much. Wood, we're always on wood duty here, always. This is my football container. I've had this toy box for a long time, and I got potatoes in there. Over here I have a cattle panel, and I have scarlet runner beans, peas. Look at, I'm just gonna let them all seed up, and then I will be keeping the dry peas. My parsley container, need to do some more dehydration, borage again, some lilies, and in this bed I have the chocolate bell peppers as well. So we're just gonna wait for them to turn brown. And they're doing awesome here in this location. And look at how short they are. They're only like maybe a foot and a half tall, but that's beautiful. And I also picked up some yellow yarrow this year. I think it cost me a couple dollars. Got some more chocolate bells happening, and some alyssum, and a little bit of grass. Gooseberry plant, it's not really producing that well, and every year I have a pest, and so I will throw in a little video clip, and you can see how I have to manage and deal with that pest. So here's another issue with this big massive elderberry plant. I have a currant plant back here, the black currant plant, and it's producing, and I have to harvest all of these berries. And the problem is I have the cattle panel here, and it's basically to keep everything out, including the dogs, because early on, the pugs will go into my garden beds. They won't go in there now. And then if I get the chickens that happen to come out, they can sneak right through this, and it's just a nightmare. So, yes, the black currant is a beautiful berry. It really is. And I need to be harvesting this tomorrow. And the berries go all the way back there. So I need to be able to get in here. So this is going to have to get pruned up or staked up so that I can get in. Over here I have a red currant bush. So the same pest actually attacks the foliage of the currant bushes. This currant bush is looking horrible. Like, look at the leaves. But I still have more currants to pick, and mostly down in there because I've already done a good harvest. Pasta, plantain, another gooseberry plant that needs to go into the ground out at the property. And in this bed, I have celery that's doing very well. I have cabbage that's netted up. And this tomato plant is the Dr. Weitsch's Yellow. A beautiful, beautiful, beautiful tomato. More celery doing very, very well. And more cabbage on this side. Yes, it may just be big leaves and not a head, but I can still use the leaves to make cabbage rolls and pressure can them. In this little container, I have 2 more of the chocolate bell peppers happening here. In this grow bag, I have jalapenos. You can see they're liking it. They really are. They might be small, not massive by any means, but there's a lot on there. More potatoes in this planter. So I'm really hoping that all of these potatoes, I hope that they produce quite a good amount, and we shall see. Okay, I planted way too much stuff in this bed here. This is the Montreal melons I have mixed in with tomatoes. I have to go and check the variety, but the Montreal melons are really sprawling out. Underneath that, at the beginning of the year, that's where all the asparagus came from. I got to get in here and stake all of this, and in behind I have horseradish that I obtained from Lucy, and I didn't even know I had horseradish in my yard until Lucy showed me what the horseradish looked like. I'm like, I have that everywhere. Holy smokes. Yeah, so it's super cool. And there's a really fun app that you can get to identify plants and different things, and it's called Seek. And so yeah, check that one out. It's fun. Okay, so yes, in here I also have the German chamomile. I did a really good harvest on this the other day. I dehydrated that up, and I still need to get in here and find out what type of tomato that is. And this is our wood splitting section. Like honestly, it's too much happening in one bed, and I knew I was going to do this again, and I always do. This is the Sartre Rollois tomato. Okay, and there we go. We got fruit, baby. We got fruit. So I got some work to do in this bed. Obviously, everything just grows so rapidly, and prune the suckers. Prune the suckers. So in here I had all onions, just the sets. So I harvested those the other day. So this bed, I'm making room for the extra tobacco. This is my zucchini bed. It's all golden zucchini. Harvested a bunch of zucchini, and then I see a rogue tomato plant right there, happening right there. So I can already harvest this zucchini, and then there's another little one. The zucchini's all the way back. Too many plants in one bed, legit. And some volunteer sunflowers. A beautiful red zinnia with my tomatoes. Cukes, national pickling cukes. It's time for me to be doing some pickling. Honestly, I already have some in the fridge that I've been saving to do a good pickling session. Look at them. They're growing on that cattle panel and up the fence like crazy. This is awesome. I also tucked a blanket flower in here and some beautiful dill. I love dill. We go through a lot of dill, especially with our fish. And then, of course, the pickling, right? So the dill is doing amazing. And so this is also our raised bed that contains the jalapenos next to these jalapenos. And I got corn, beans, and peas back here as well. Now this is the blue corn. So if you ever see like blue tortillas, it comes from the blue corn flour. I have down here some kale that is doing okay. It's not getting munched on by anything at all. So far, so good. And that's Dr. Weitsch's Yellow in this bed. And look at, this is gonna be beautiful. And another cabbage. I might actually be able to get a head of cabbage this year. I'm not certain. This is my rain barrel system that I have, and I do need a better system coming off of the eaves trough to feed into that other rain barrel that I have. It's for that my neighbor gave me. And then I use the rain point system over here for my spaghetti squash. But you just gotta watch, if you're planning on getting rain, you just gotta take it out take it right out of the water, and then that way they're not getting overwatered. And I threw some mullein plants in there. I just have to cut them down and leave the roots in. And I picked up a little tiny tomato plant, the Better Boy. It's doing okay. Need a little bit of pruning there. So we'll see if that produces anything. That was free. And so I do have a couple of spaghetti squash happening right now. Let's see. And I wasn't even planning to do spaghetti squash this year, but I changed my mind. A whole pile of calendula. Oh, it's such a beautiful flower. These are all seed pods. So I can harvest these and put them into a paper bag and dry them out. And we got tomatoes galore. Tomatoes happening. This is incredible. I wrapped up some of this kale, and that's doing great. I should be able to get some of this onto the dehydrator as well today. And look at the size of that. Oh yeah, baby. That's a Sart Rolois, or Rolo, however you want to pronounce it. That's beautiful. Over here I have Malva and Borage, 2 big plants. This is going to be a blanket flower. These are the big rainbows. It's a new variety for me. Look at how many tomatoes are on this vine. That is incredible. So I'm really looking forward to seeing it turn to rainbow colors. And this is the cattle panel trellis with all of the scarlet runner beans. It's beautiful. And last year I did not have success, but look at this. And now I will put a picture of what the bean looks like, because it's purple, it's gorgeous, it's beautiful. And yeah, I'm really happy with the way this is turning out. Look at that. Look at it. Fun. And down here I have some rainbow chard I harvested today, and we're gonna use that for a salad tonight with some more calendula and corn back there, and some Swiss chard and teddy bear sunflowers. Oh, and don't forget the sage. I have dill here happening in this planter, doing excellent. Borage. Look at this. Look at it. They love it. They love it. So this is where I had my onions. It frees up space for some more kale or chard or whatever. And these are more P&J Scotch bonnet peppers we got happening here. They're starting to produce. The spacing, I don't think I'm going to do the square foot next year. Just because it's like these flower plants take up a massive amount of space. And then you get them like leaning over and stuff, so you got to stake them up. Oh, I touched a bee. Hello, bee. Oh, and nasturtiums, I had to start like 3 rounds of nasturtiums. Something kept taking them. It's such a beautiful, beautiful plant and flower. So, come on, I need you to flower up for me. Some sunflowers, not yet producing flowers. Corn, so this is all along my shared fence with my neighbor. Over here I have some cucumber plants. These are the munchers. They're getting a really slow start because they don't get a whole lot of sun over here, and that's fine. And I kept in one of the, I want to say it was a French breakfast radish, so that it can go to seed. I'll show you what that looks like as well. And here's some kale. Oh, this is one of my favorite tomatoes. This is the Sicilian saucer. I grew Sicilians last year. See how they have that beautiful ribbing? Oh, such a beautiful tomato. And just massive. Over 1 pound, easy. Some kind of weird Afghani tomatoes. The alyssum, more basil that I need to get onto the dehydrator. I had scallions in here. This was the kale that was getting attacked. Oh, this is so depressing. Yep. Okay. worm. I had to spray it with a natural pest spray. Here you go, ladies. Calendula. I got sage back in here. I got more sunflowers, and look at, they like my sunflowers, those ants. In here I have some more muncher cukes. Harvest these ones about 5 to 6 inches long. So this is doing all right. Got some more up in there. Cucumbers are doing really well this year. And then I have burrito peppers. These are fun, really fun. And I forget who gave me the burrito pepper seeds, but look at that one. That one's ready to be harvested. Those ones back here ready to be harvested. This is incredible. I love it. And then I have some red carpet onions here that didn't do crap. I just know I planted them too deep, and then what I did was I tried to pull them up a little bit, but I think it harmed the roots. So just got to watch your spacing and your depth for the onions, and then of course you got to cup them so that you get a bigger bulb. But I know that for next year. And this is like massive, big, huge volunteer sunflowers right there. Beautiful. And they were volunteers in this raised bed, so I took out quite a few of them. Look at the size of that stalk. Massive. And then the blanket flower. Down here I have, what is this? More of the burrito peppers, actually. So these ones are in the shade. They are producing some fruit here. On both sides here of my rain barrel, I had the rhubarb. I did a big, huge harvest of that already. So I will do this one next. This is a different variety. This is not the red one. So just incredible amount of rhubarb this year. And I'm waiting for it to go to seed. And then milkweed that just grows randomly. I just leave it for the monarchs. And check this out. I found a leaf, one of the rhubarb leaves. Look at it. That's a monarch. It's going to be emerging soon. Look at how beautiful that is. So I just left it in here so it's nice and safe. I'm going to have to check it tomorrow. And then I'll put up a short to my channel. So over here, there's just a pile of malva. Wow. It's just so many blossoms, so many flowers. Just a beautiful, incredible plant. I'm going to have a ton of seed. And then over here I have yarrow, which is a beautiful, amazing medicine. You want to get yarrow for your permaculture. Sunflowers, I think these were the chocolate cherry, I want to say, but look, just gorgeous. And down here I have a couple more cucumber plants. I want to say these were the Wisconsin pickling cukes, calendula, and some Thor Haven Farm cayenne peppers. So I got to harvest the cayennes, and look at these are the Walla Walla onions. I think this might be the largest onion that I have grown this year. So that's kind of exciting. I'll work on growing larger onions for next year. And this is the green giant tomato. So this is a new one for me. Kelly and I did that swap, and she gave me the green giant tomato plant. Pick off the suckers, and then a couple more flower varieties, the borage, calendula, and then I have an open space back here for something else. And then back here, this is my elderberry bush that does very, very well. This one I will be keeping. because the birds don't eat it all, and I did really well with this one last year. Up there I have a massive paper wasp nest happening that needs to be taken care of because the pugs are highly allergic and I'm getting complaints from the neighbors. And so further back here I have my perennials, that edible perennials that grow back. So I got gooseberries. You can see how big this plant is. It's just massive. I also have lovage back here, which is a celery, and it's all gone to seed, so I need to harvest some seeds. And I have wild leeks all back in here. So if anyone has any ideas what I need to do to manage this plant, let me know in the comments. Okay, so that pretty much concludes for the backyard tour stuff and the greenhouse. And then I got a duck underneath here because I got stuff happening everywhere. And yes, because I don't have proper trellising, which I will work on more so for next year. That concludes the backyard tour. So now I just got to show you the little front side garden and the front yard. We'll just go and take a look at the apple tree.
Hello, Tink Tank. Hello, Scarlet.
And I got shepherd's pie happening in the oven. There's our tiny house. I got some painting to do. This is our big tiny. I gotta paint this thing this week while it's not raining. Okay, so this is my front yard. A lot of it's just done. It's like a lot of, I gotta pull all those weeds. It's actually like medicinal weed, so those have to come out of here. But this was blooming like non-stop, like with different varieties of stuff happening, and just beautiful. These are more housecat berry plants right in the front. I got the apple tree over here. I got some black-eyed Susan, yarrow. That is all raspberries, and this whole patch needs to be trimmed down. And I'm going with 3 rows, so most of it can come out. And so I will have bare root plants if anyone wants them. But look at this apple tree. I need to stake this up. So we went to the bush the other day. Like, look at how many apples this thing has. It's phenomenal. And I should be running water out here every night to get these apples big and huge. So I still have some raspberries to pick, but you can see raspberries are very invasive. Very invasive. So I just need a couple of rows there. Just a couple of rows. Here's a gooseberry plant. This is another one that I did well with. It's growing very beautiful. You could tell the difference in the new growth also. And then this is where I put all of that self-heal, heal all. And then all of these Johnny jump ups were happening on my lawn. And this is pretty much the only lawn that I have. That and back there. And so this is a Jack in the Pulpit plant. Really a fun one. I don't know what is going on here. It's seeded very well last year, but it is a cool looking plant. So I'm going to be starting more of these from seed. And check this out. Daisies. I got some more strawberries. Excellent. So good. So yeah. Oh, our autumn joy, or sedum, is flowering here in the front. Now this doesn't get watered very often at all. Only usually when it rains. I got some lavender in there as well. Hostas. All the hostas have to be trimmed down. But I'll get to that. And then my cherry tree. Last year I had a bowl full. This year I only got 2 cherries because the birds ate them all. This here is a Wigalia. Absolutely beautiful. It blooms red. Gorgeous. Some milkweed back in there. Lilies here. Oh, and I should tell you about another invasive variety of something that I have, and it's the Jerusalem artichoke. So it's something that I do not want in my flower beds. It's echinacea. So I'm going to show you something. So the Jerusalem artichoke, Alex actually brought it from his dad saying, oh, it's like a really beautiful flower. And yeah, sure, it's a beautiful flower, but it has taken over. It has taken over this whole bed. And this is it. It produces a tuber that you can eat, but I don't want it in here. Like there's a place for it. And I know, Paula, you said, oh, you can grow that. You're doing good. I'm like, I can't even get it out. That's how deep in there it is. But all of this is all Jerusalem artichoke that I don't want in here. I can deal with that later, but it does produce a tuber. It's just, I'm not digging them out properly right now. But I don't want them in there. I don't. Invasive things. Okay, one more section. So I'm making pretty much use of like the whole entire yard for the most part, whatever I can do, right? So out here I have green zebra tomatoes. They are one of my favorite to grow because they are super fun looking, and I still have some frozen in the freezer from last year that I plan on making some ketchup with, which I think will be super fun. So I got 2 of those plants out here. I have some Hopi squash that are really tiny. They're not even growing. I just fertilized them this morning. And I have some peaches and cream corn, which I don't know if it's going to produce, but I'm hoping it will. I got some yellow raspberries on the cattle panel, some cosmos, some different types of beans. And I've done beans in here. And I have more started because something is eating my bean plants, honestly. And then I have some Swiss chard, nasturtiums. There's bean plant, but something chews them off. And in here I have 2 different types of potatoes. I have the russets and I have a yellow potato as well. So I think my potatoes are going to be pretty much done very soon here in the front. And these are all house caps as well, right in here. And Beatrice, another one of my favorite flowers. And I let all of my chives go to seed this year, and so I should actually be harvesting some of the seeds so I can bring them out to the property, get them started this fall. And so this is another one of our apple trees. This is the 4-in-1 combo. Goodland, Parkland, Battleford, September Ruby, Norland apple. Produced nothing this year. And then over here is a different apple that produced absolutely nothing as well. Back in here I have all parsnips here in my front garden. So they're all gone to seed. I gotta be cutting these down and getting them into a paper bag, save seeds for. Parsnips are a good vegetable. In here I have all of my oregano and more thyme. This bed did really, really well, and it's all going to seed. It's just really hard to get in here now. I'll be able to put some onto the dehydrator tonight. And then back here I have these really pretty flowers. Now this is called a real blush Dipladenia. So this one, and here's another type of the Dipladenia as well. Very beautiful annual. And I was able to get some free plants from a lady in the local city last year. And here's one of them. I forget the name, but I'll put it up on the screen. And then I had my columbine that was blooming earlier in the spring, late spring. And then I have some lavender bee balm and some goldenrod and Lucy's poppies. I got kale under the netting here, but something is still eating them. Something is still eating the plants. Now, is that ants or what? Please let me know in the comments. Like, I got the netting on. And this is a hollyhock. I'm trying to remember if it was MB who gave me the hollyhock seeds, but this is 2-year-old hollyhock, so I think that next year it should actually be producing a flower. And I think it's a black hollyhock. cosmos, calendula, daisies. In this little corner, I have more poppies from Lucy. This is a yellow loosestrife that it flowers beautifully. Just gorgeous. Some more German chamomile. Some more poppies back there. Bellflower, that little purple one. I've got some mint here happening. And some rose campion flowers which will bloom later this summer. And yes, this is I have a meadow evening primrose in here as well. And there's that bellflower with some pineapple weed and hosta. And this is also a new one for me, marsh cudweed, which has like a anti-anxiety property, which is pretty neat, so I just left it in here. Oh, and I forgot, that is my plum tree, which did not produce anything yet this year. It's only 2 years old, but it's doing really, really well in this location. So that concludes my garden tour. I don't know if I will do another full garden tour. It's just there's too much stuff going on because I got to get to working on some other videos, but I hope you enjoyed seeing what's kind of working for me here and what's not. I fail at brassicas, and I didn't show that. Like, I go to the Mennonites and I buy big, huge cauliflower, and I pickle it and do some other stuff with it. I fail at brassicas, I fail at onions, and I fail, honestly, at carrots, and then trying to keep these chickens out of stuff. It's I have another thing of netting that needs to go on, but if anyone has ever tried to put up the netting, if you really want to mess with somebody, like if somebody's trying to break into your place, you just throw the netting on these people and it gets caught in everything. It's very difficult to put up. But I do have some netting that I have to get put up, and that way these girls don't get out and mess up more of my stuff, because I have hopefully more chard, kale, and beans that I'm going to be able to produce before the end of the season, because we have a very short growing season here. So what are your thoughts? If you made it all the way through this video, give me a fruit emoji or a zucchini emoji, or heart. A green heart would be cool, because this is a lot of work, and I don't even know how people film a garden tour. This has been a few days in the making. So if you liked it, please give me a thumbs up and leave a comment. Thank you so much for coming along. I know it's a very, very long video, but it's to be expected when you got a lot of stuff growing on. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and everyone take care. Keep on doing the things. Bye for now. Northern Girl out. Is it a labor of love? You tell me.